Tell me about Muhammad. What kind of man he was? What does history tell us about this man?
So it's interesting because I just did an actually deep dive in this, and it's what I find fascinating is we have very early records of Muhammad from non-Muslim sources. The earliest is 2 years after his death, and just to put this in perspective, the earliest non-Christian reference to Jesus is 60 years after his death or crucifixion. Okay, so 2 years, that's really good. And what it is basically a record of people saying that a man arose in Arabia saying he's a prophet, but people don't believe him because prophets who all they have, their claim to fame is just bloodshed and war, are not real prophets. Okay, and the same account talks about how he promises heaven to his followers. So if you really look at the very early non-Muslim sources, especially, they all make it unequivocally clear there's a man whose name or his title is Muhammad, the praised one, and he claims he's from God, but his modus operandi, the way he behaves, is all about violence, warfare, plunder, sexuality, concubinage, etc. And if you die, you go to heaven. And even in his time, there's a lot of people who doubt him. Okay, so that's, to me, the bare bone minimum understanding of Muhammad based on very reliable contemporary records.
How many wives did he have?
Well, so according to, he had, I think I want to say 9 or 10, which is more than what any Muslim man should have. A Muslim man should have 4. But of course, he always, new revelations would come to him, which would justify more license to him sexually. His own wife, Aisha, his young wife, his child bride, who I believe married when she was 9, though he had possession of her when she was 6. There's in the hadith where she says, I find it amazing how your Lord, Allah, always reveals things that you need right when you need them, because he was given a license to have more wives than every other Muslim man. So, even in the sources, it comes out that there's a lot of cynicism towards what he's doing.
What do Muslims say when they hear that their main prophet Muhammad had a 6 to 9-year-old wife? How do they justify it?
It's not that they justify it. They see it as they've just now been given license to do the same.
In Iraq?
Everywhere, actually. Yes, in Iraq it's now becoming actually part of the law. But historically, because Muhammad did that, that's why you had basically what we would call pedophilia, but then it would be normal. Oh, I'm a Muslim man, I'm 30, I'm 40, and I'm going to marry a 9-year-old.
And Muhammad was 50 plus when he married Aisha.
Yeah.
And she was
9.
We met her 6 and married when she was 9.
Aisha, his young wife, his child bride, who I believe married when she was 9, though he had possession of her when she was 6. What we would call, then it would be normal. Oh, I'm a Muslim man, I'm 30, I'm 40, and I'm going to marry a 9-year-old. You can have 4 wives and as many slaves as you want, concubines. And they talk about how they attacked and killed everyone, and they took a nun and ganged her until she died in front of everyone. And the eyewitness says, and the Turks did this often to pilgrims. Jihad of the pen, jihad of the tongue, jihad of the money, jihad of the womb. And all of them are to serve Islam, to empower it over infidels. And a Muslim is one who submits. But if you really went to it, it was a political thing. I'm superior, I'm the warlord, you're joining me, you're submitting to me in what I say, which comes from God. And that was it. He claims he's from God, but his modus operandi, the way he behaves, is all about violence, warfare, plunder, sexuality, concubinage, etc. England, it's reached the point where you can't even say the truth about what's happening without going to jail. So obviously the rulers of England, whether they are British natives, hate and are warring on their own people.